long-term care. But now we're getting upwards of $1,000 to $1,500 per person instead of per month. And so you get 3 people in there, or even a couple, and a couple of single people.
You're
or whatever.
almost $12,000 a month, something like that on the high end.
Between 4 and 6 is what we're estimating that we can potentially net on the property by going this route. And there's a lot of, I mean, it's not like just quickly throw some people in there, and there's going to be some work involved. And there's a lot of things to figure out, but it's creative things like that really spark my interest. You know, like take this property that could make this much and take it up to that next level, and now I don't have to have 30 doors at some point. I can have 10 doors making bigger dollars,
amounts,
right? Now, don't get me wrong. I still want to have 30 doors or more. I want to own. I want to be like Corey. I want to own half a city. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But,
we all wish to.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great long-term retirement plan. But I'm just saying, if you could do more per door, that's
Why
super
not,
interesting,
right?
That's super interesting. But the other thing about the group home thing is I feel like that's also you're serving people, and that's something that's important to me. Is you're providing a space, because those places have these long waiting lists. There's people waiting and waiting to get into a situation like that who have no options, or they're living with family, or they're in a situation where they just need some independence. And whether it's like older people, whether it's people who are coming out of rehab, things like there's situations like that. There's a lot of different situations where you could be helping people and making more money at the same time on your investments. You know, pretty cool, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd never, I'd heard about the group home, but I didn't really know anyone that played in that realm. So that's really interesting. That
I just started hearing about it lately, and I met with an investor, with a hard money lender actually, who he started a company providing the nurses too, because he had so many, and he saw a way to cut his costs.
Wow.
Where he started a company where he's providing nursing, or it's not even nurses, it's really caregivers. I shouldn't say nurses.
Like caregivers, technically speaking.
Yeah, you get a certification to become a caregiver. It doesn't necessarily mean you can perform surgery on somebody, but you're able to take care of them at the level that's
like a basic level.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, that's kind of the realm I'm looking to go into. And the thing I like about that too is, as far as what you're buying, you don't have to have as big of a spread when you're buying now. If you're able to take this and make more money on it, you don't have to get a smoking deal. You can go to a seller who wants to make a certain amount of money, and you can offer them what they want. Because if they'll give you terms, especially, then it's a win-win. Because that's how I do business.
Be more picky on the location too.
A little bit, yeah. But for me, it's really important that I don't want to feel like I'm ripping people off. Anytime I've ever stepped into a deal with anybody, both parties have to be happy, and there has to be full transparency. I'm not there trying to pull a fast one on anybody ever. You know, and have I lost deals from being transparent? You're damn right I have. And I slept great that night. You know what I mean?
But it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's all, the reputation's important too.
Yeah, the reputation, you take a lifetime to build a reputation. It takes one bad decision to ruin it, man.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So my reputation amongst most people is good. Don't get me wrong. I've got people out there who think
you got to have some haters. Come on, drop a like if you got to have some haters.
I've got plenty of haters. And honestly, I think it's because I'm just kind of misunderstood. My intentions are always good, but I'm a little harsh sometimes. You know what I mean?
Well, you got to be in this industry. You can't exactly be, a little pushover, and you're not going to get anything done.
Yeah, I don't work for Doormat Realty, bro. No one's wiping their feet on me.
Exactly.
You know. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm going. But obviously, still looking to work with buyers and sellers. I've got a little team I'm building up. My goal is to be probably 80% on the listing side.
Okay.
That's my big thing, and so I have a thing called Modern Day Listing. You can go to moderndaylisting.com, and where it's with the iBuyers coming in, the market changing so much over the last few years. When the iBuyers first came in, when Open Door OfferPad, these guys first came into the market, every one of us realtors felt like we were under attack, and we all felt like, oh my God, these guys are out there screwing people. And the fact is, what I've learned over the last year is, there are so many cases where the iBuyer route is absolutely a better route for that seller. The convenience is worth the cost in a lot of cases. So iBuyers aren't really a threat to realtors. They're competing against other investors is what they're competing against, you know what I mean? And they've got big fat pockets to do it. But with the Modern Day Listing, what we do is we will show up and kind of meet with somebody, we'll take pictures, we'll take all this information, ask a lot of questions, and come back within a few days with 15 to 25 offers on the house, cash offers. We'll make an offer ourselves if they want that. We'll show them what it would sell for on the market. In its current condition, we'll also show them what it would sell for fixed up, because we have contractors who will make repairs to the house and get paid at closing to improve the value. So if
Oh,
there's
fantastic.
so if there's a house that would sell for 50,000 more if it didn't have this giant crack or this, outdated everything, where it makes sense to fix it up and sell it for more and make a bigger spread, we have those options. We can show you what it would rent for on the market as a traditional. We can show you what it would rent for as an Airbnb. We give all those options, and we just sit down at the second meeting and show them, here's every option you have, full transparency. Make your decision as far as what works best for you. And because of having so many balls in the air, I haven't had a chance to really run with that as hard as I want. I want to make that my big focus for the year. So that's why I'm bringing on a few buyer's agents to help with the buyer side, and let me focus on what I feel is my best way. Doing enough of them, not knowing what you're doing to learn those, Russell Shaw is considered to be one of my mentors, and I'm sure you know who Russell Shaw is.
Yep.
He talks all the time about your stage time, and this is something I learned from him a long time ago, or heard from him a long time ago. No stand-up comedian gets on stage and is any good the first few times. Like, you got to get up there and be willing to kind of suck at something for a while, and then you get good at it by learning your lessons, taking your lumps, right? Well, it's the same thing with open houses. Most agents in hard, man. Say every Saturday for 6 hours, every Saturday and Sunday. Hell, I've known people who have done them Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, in vacant homes, treating it like an office. I know a few people who do that. But number one is do a lot of them, okay? Number two is, how do you meet people, or how do you collect their data, and how do you remember them? So most agents, they're going to have a sign-in sheet. That
yes.
and it has like name, phone number, email address. And I guarantee you the first one or two lines on that is like fake, like they filled it on how you do it. But at the end of the day, let's say you do have 20 people show up and you have 20 names, emails, and phone numbers on this list. Well, how do you remember who's who? How do you follow up with somebody if that's all you have is that their information and the fact that they showed up to your open house? So what I came up with several years ago was I have clipboards with stacks of sign-in sheets that the top portion is sign-in information and the bottom portion is feedback.
Oh,
and when people come through my open house, I ask them to sign in, and while they're doing that, I'll go get a flyer. I'll kind of get out of their face because I don't want to be looming
right over them.
Like I'm 6'2", 220 pounds. Like I don't
It's
be
like,
looming.
are you filling it out?
Yeah, don't
Like,
forget the address.
just
right?
put it right there.
That's
both of
intimidating.
them.
But I have like literally an A to Z process of getting people to sign in, and then they'll sign in. I'll give them a flyer. I'll give them like a little spiel about the house with excitement, enthusiasm. I'm going to try and sell that house. I know more about the neighborhood, the house. I can answer any questions they might have without having to look at my computer. That's something like you don't take so much time marketing an open house as you do studying the house you're holding open, and knowing the comps, and knowing the neighborhood, and knowing what's sold, and knowing what's on the market, and knowing without having to look. Because the second someone comes in and they start asking about the house around the corner, and you can tell them about it without having to look it up, you've earned their business. Bam, just like that, right? If you can answer, oh yeah, there's 6 homes in the neighborhood for sale right now, ranging from this price to this price. The average days on market for this zip code is this. There's 12,569 homes in the market overall right now, which is the lowest we've seen in blah blah years. When you can spit that kind of data out and answer those questions, you don't have to try. You don't have to. They trust you at that point. And I guarantee if they've met 5 or 6 or 10 other realtors that day, not one of them can do that.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Nobody can do that. So know your numbers. But when you get the sign in, have them take the clipboard through the open house, ask them to give some feedback, and leave them alone. Can you imagine if you walked into Macy's down here and you wanted to buy like a suit jacket or something, and you walk in and someone comes up and asks if they can help you, and you say, I'm just looking, and if they just followed you through the store, pointing out all the different things they're selling. Isn't that like
Drive you nuts.
That's an uncomfortable buying experience, right?
Absolutely.
But if they just say, yeah, it's down that way, let us know if you have any questions, that's what people want. So don't follow people through a house, number one, for safety reasons, but number two, because you don't build rapport by making them uncomfortable. You build rapport when they're done. Because at the end of the time, they're looking at the house, and maybe they're giving feedback and maybe they're not. But here's the deal. They got to bring that clipboard back to you.
And you're going to find out a little bit of what you need to know from that. There's a good chance that
exactly. That's when you take the clipboard, and on the back of the sign-in sheets that I created, that's the place where I take notes. And they'll see me taking notes. I'm going to identify their disc profile. I'm going to circle any characteristics. You can go I have a Facebook group called Mega Open House Mastermind.
Mega Open House Masterminds. We'll try to put that in the comments.
Mega Open House Mastermind. You can join that group. I have tons of resources. There's a couple thousand realtors in there from all around the country talking
Fantastic.
about open houses, but you can get the sign-in sheet in there. But I'm turning it over and I'm writing down specific notes about that client, and I'm asking them questions, and I'm anything that matters, right? So let's say a potential buyer's looked at 6 open houses on a Saturday. They've signed in, and 5 of those 6 realtors are now sending them property emails they didn't ask for,
Yep.
or sending them general spam, or these conversion emails that are just kind of question based. They're all the same thing. It's all the same old crap. But I'm sending them a handwritten thank you card. I'm sending them a text or a video. I'm sending them an email. But with my marketing, it's not, you came to my open house, how can I help you? Hope you're looking to buy or sell. It's, thanks for coming to the open house. I'm excited to help your sister Linda move down from Minneapolis, or whatever the specifics of that person's situation. Because my system allows me to take specific notes on that person and market to them specifically. So my conversion rates are way higher than that. So I don't need 100 people to come through to sell one home.
You may need 10 people
I need
to
like
come through.
I need like 5.
Perfect.
5 or 10 people to convert one into an actual client, right?
One of those guys that's hosting those, these guys, 2 hours, they're in, they get all the leads they need, and they're done. They head out for the week.
Pretty much. Yeah, and so, I mean, and the other thing, though, is a lot of those people I meet in those open houses, they go into my CRM, and there's several in there I've been keeping in touch with for years. Like years and years. I remember a house I listed last year, I kept in touch with that lead for 7 years after an open house.
Wow.
I'm not high pressure. I come to them with value. A couple times a year I'll ask, hey, you want an update on your value? This person happened to buy at the worst possible time. They were way upside down. They hung onto the property through the mortgage meltdown.
Yep.
And they finally got to a position where they could sell it. And they were excited. But I was like a bulldog.
Took me a while to get there.
I wasn't
7
spammy.
years.
I was never pushy. I'm always cool. I'm not here to tell someone what they should do. I'm here to give them options and let them make that decision. I make people comfortable, and so that's why I convert high too. I don't have commission breath.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I don't have commission breath. I don't care if I sell this person a house today or in 7 years. I plan on doing this for a long time. You know what I mean? So I just treat people right and stay in touch and send valuable things and not be slimy, I guess is the word I'm looking for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when you're able to collect that data and keep in touch with them in a way that's specific to them and not general, they can tell when you're authentic and when you're just sending out campaigns and stuff like that. Like, we can tell.
Yeah.
Everyone can tell
when
if they're
it's
getting
like handwritten versus
Yeah.
computer. They put your name in there to make you feel special, kind of thing.
Yeah, so frequency, data collection, and the third thing, like I was talking about, is know that house, know everything about the house, know everything about the neighborhood, know everything about the zip code. I've always known this, and I've always, to a level, performed on that. When I was in Austin, my friend Chad Goldwasser, he's another one of my mentors. He used to be the #1 real estate agent in the world at one point. He's still out there knocking out open houses. He owns Pure Gold Realty in Austin, and he's still out there doing them. And I was able to actually sit in an open house with him while I was in Austin last time. It was really cool watching him work. You're talking to a guy who was at the epitome, at one point as far as his sales numbers, and watching him work was incredible because that's exactly, he didn't even have a sign-in sheet, right? People came in and he just had conversations, and if naturally it made sense for them to connect, then he would have them fill out a sheet at that point. And I know agents who have gone that route too. They don't ask anyone to sign in unless they feel like they need to, which there's nothing wrong with that at all. I'm not a big fan of calling having this huge CRM. I spend more time eliminating people from my CRM than I do adding
to
you know
it.
what I mean?
Yeah.
But Chad could answer any question about the market, about the home, about the neighborhood with specific numbers without even thinking about it. And everyone who talked to him, when they realized how he really knew his stuff, game over, man. That's their agent. So he'll do an open house and get 3-4 clients out of it every time. And that's why he still, that's why he sells a ton of homes. And that still is #1 thing. After being #1 in the world in 2005, #1 in the world for KW and for Remax. And then he started his own thing. But the point is, it was his knowledge and his ability to show that knowledge is what made him.
Gave the clients that confidence in him.
Yeah, there's no tricks. Like, people are always looking for tricks and tips. Like, here's the tip: do a lot of open houses and know what the hell you're talking about, honestly, and collect data in a way that makes you authentic when you're talking with people. that's really all it boils down to. I mean, I can go over all these ideas of how to get people to show up and all this stuff, but again, 50 people show up and you can't manage that.
Then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, like what a terrible experience that
I'd
is.
rather have 5 people show up
Yeah.
that you know what you're doing.
Yeah, nothing better than you only have one show up and you convert them.
Exactly.
Like I'm batting 1,000 today, man. You know,
You're
that's
done,
great.
1 for 1.
Yeah, because I'll be honest. Managing a large number of people through an open house is a lot of work, and I used to brag that I was the hardest working guy in the room. And what I realized is I don't want to be the hardest working guy in the room. I don't.
I totally understand.
I want to be the smartest guy in the room. Oh, no, I don't want to be the smartest guy in the room either. But I want to be the most effective guy in the room is what I want. Okay, so if I'm willing to spend an hour of my time doing something, I want to see a return from that. If I'm willing to spend my money on something, I want to see a return from it. I don't want to just throw time and money at everything and hope something sticks.
Hope something sticks.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So that's the wisdom I've obtained in my time in this industry is I want to be more effective. Like there's guys out there who have these huge sales numbers for like I want to sell X millions of dollars in real estate. My goal for sales in retail this year is actually less than I did last year. Like I want to do less as far as that goes because that'll allow me more time to focus on other things. I mean,
On other activities.
Well, not
it's
even
like a
just
balancing act. Like,
investing.
are you going to be, what part of the real estate industry do you want to spend the majority of your time,
Yeah, but if you have your hand in a few different cookie jars, that's good. We should
Absolutely.
do that. Some people believe you should focus everything really hard on just sales, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I know a lot of agents who make a lot more money than me by selling a lot of homes. One market shift or correction, and they have no other leverage or no other assets to fall back on, and that's kind of like everyone lost their ass back in what 08,
Yep.
right? Especially the ones who were just focusing. So I'm trying to build a more well-rounded portfolio of not just investments, not just sales. I've got a friend who's opening a solar business. I'm trying to buy into that, or actually help him build a sales
Oh,
team.
wow.
But I want to
Oh,
buy
cool.
into a solar company. Like they said, the care homes. There's a lot of different things I want to get involved in. I want to expand open house helpers. At the end of the day, I'm trying to leverage and bring in more people to help manage those who are better at managing than me. You know what I mean? Like I'm a visionary. I'm looking for that implementer. You know what I mean? Or
Absolutely.
that integrator, I guess you'd call it.
Someone to come in and kind of help iron out the actual plans to make it all work
Yeah.
congruently.
Yeah, like you've heard of Walt Disney.
Yeah.
You ever heard of Roy Disney?
No.
So Roy was Walt's brother.
No. I've heard of Roy.
So Roy was Walt's brother, and Walt was this wild visionary, had these wild ideas, right? But Roy's the one who took this madness and actually controlled it. And if it wasn't for Roy, there would be no Disneyland.
He was the Steve Wozniak.
So, yeah, exactly.
Every visionary has to have someone who puts it all together and makes it work.
Yep, and that is There's a book called Rocket Fuel that talks about just that, about the balance between visionaries and integrators, and how when you have that combination, that's when things get really crazy and really good, right?
Yeah, because you have both ends of the
Yeah.
equation put together. It's the perfect mix.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So that's where I'm really focusing my time is trying to spread out a little wider on things, I guess,
Yeah, I mean it's pretty impressive what you've done with the open houses. I mean, just some of the ideas like you had about meeting outside of this, kind of setting up close to a drop-off zone of a school. Really clever stuff.
That's a fun thing to do too, honestly.
It's like coffee and donuts. If
Who
you're an
doesn't
agent,
want coffee and
come on.
donuts?
Comment below, coffee and donuts.
Well, and the fun thing is, and I also get to eat like 5 donuts that morning, and then go into a sugar coma.
It gets
No, I'm
annoying.
just
Then
kidding.
you get the leads at the same
Okay,
time.
I have like 2, but
I would probably have 5.
I've met investors.
different.
I've met a lot of investors at those too. The guys who are out at 7 in the morning, and they see you, they go, man, this guy's got work ethic, right? This guy thinks outside the box. But I've met several investors that way. And the cool thing is when you're done, you have all these donuts left over. Go take them to the school. Meet the ladies behind the counter. Go take them to a business that you know in the area and do a pop by with a box of donuts and just say, hey, I was holding an open house this morning and we have a bunch of donuts and I thought you guys might like them. And they're like, number one, who the hell doesn't want someone to bring donuts to their office? But number two, in their mind, they're like, damn, this guy's out working at 7 o'clock in the morning as a realtor. I thought realtors didn't even get out of bed till noon, which a lot do.
But you're breaking the stereotype,
Yeah, but you're showing up and you're like presenting an awesome image of yourself. You're bringing gifts. And so every time we do that, that gives me also a good pop-by opportunity right after. You know what
That's
I mean?
awesome.
Yeah.
So, kind of just to, just kind of my ending question for you would be, now that you have all this experience in the industry and all this time in the industry, if you could go back and sit down and have a cup of coffee with the first day on, with a license.
Great question.
What would that conversation look like? Where would you start that?
Got it.
And what would you hope to achieve with that
So
conversation?
if you would have saw me, so 2009 is when I got my license, and remember that's the world melting down.
Everything's just barely the dust is settling.
Yeah, but prices are still dropping a little bit. Every realtor, has gotten out of the industry. They're like used to selling homes for 300 that are now going for like 100, and they have to get short sale approval. And a lot of the old time realtors were like, I'm out. I'm not messing with this. And so there was a lot of chaos. Like agents now, a new agent now. Like I just hired a new agent 2 days ago. She hasn't even signed her paperwork yet. I'm excited to have her. She's brand new. She's got hustle. She's got work ethic. The industry she's coming into as a brand new agent, she has so many options, teams. And when I came in, like the brokerage I started with, there was one team. It was a husband and wife. They had no interest in training me. They were too busy trying to not go bankrupt like everybody else was going bankrupt. I had to just jump in and figure it out on my own. And everything was I'm talking like sheer chaos. And you'd work your butt off to find a client, and you'd put them in your car, you'd take them out, show them like 30, 40 homes, and then they'd finally find one they like, and they'd say, all right, we're going to wait a few weeks and see what happens with the price. And you're, in your mind, you're like, God, write an offer. I'm going to go bankrupt. I'd have nothing left to sell, right? I was so focused on trying to sell homes and get going, get my feet wet, that it's like I forgot why I got into the industry in the first place. I got my real estate license because I wanted to be an investor. You know what I mean? From reading those books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and like I said, and then I took that and I read a bunch of other ones that were similar. And I wanted MLS access, and I wanted to learn to have more of an inside scoop to get deals and start building a portfolio. And I got so busy chasing deals. Man, if I was buying at 2009, 2010 prices, I was so busy selling my friends $50,000 houses, I should have been buying them.
Yeah, I know.
Or I wish I knew what I knew. I can go into these people who had to short sell and say, listen, I'll take over this place. I'll pay you $5,000 to walk away from it. You keep the loan in your name. I'll be on title. And 10 years down the road, we'll sell it and split the proceeds. Had I known that $200,000 house they walked away from, right? Because now it's worth 100, is now worth 300
or more,
right? So I was so short-sighted and working in a place of fear for all those years. But the other thing, you wouldn't believe it. Look at me. Do I look like I fit in this industry? 10 years ago, collared shirt tucked into polo pants and shoes, and I have tattoos on my chest, and so you wouldn't believe how much time I spent trying to find polo shirts that would hide my tattoos, because I wanted to stay inside this little box that I thought we had to be in. And I was miserable. And I wasn't authentic, and I was a phony. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was
you gotta be you in this industry. If you're not you, it's not gonna work.
If I would have just been myself this whole time, I mean, seriously, it's such a stressful place to try and pretend to be someone you're not. People can tell when you're being a phony, first of all.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here trying to act like a 60-year-old man around 60-year-old men because I was under this impression that they wanted me to be like that. I was in this desperate place to fit in with this client, and this other person over here, I'm acting different around them, and I'm acting different with this person, and I just felt just fraud, man. You know what I mean? It's a terrible space to work out of. So a couple years ago, I just said, screw it. I'm just going to be myself, and I will lose clients because of it, but I will gain clients because of it as well. You know? And I had a podcast going for a while also, and one of the people I interviewed on my podcast was Byron Brown. I'm not sure if you've heard of him. He's that anti-lawyer guy.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen him, right?
Yeah.
I want to call myself the anti-realtor, but I know NAR would probably sue me if I did. But that's...
you're probably right.
Hey, that guy gets called a douchebag a lot, but he also owns a humongous amount of space. Has a huge office and a lot of clients, and he does really well because some people are going to naturally repel against and talk smack, and some people are going to go, that's my kind of a guy. But at the end of the day, he doesn't feel like he's trying to fit in anywhere. He's just, you know what I mean?
He just is.
He just shows up and he acts like himself, and so there's a lot of freedom in that. You know what I mean? And that's something I think a lot of agents are short-sighted on. They're trying to fit the mold, you know. Oh man, I gotta drive a BMW if I'm gonna be a realtor.
I know every realtor drives BMW.
Right, I gotta drive a BMW so I look successful.
BMW or a Mercedes.
Bro, I drive a white Dodge Ram pickup with a Hemi. You know what I mean? And I don't put clients in my car, and I'm not trying to impress anybody. I'm just trying to be myself. And there's just a lot of freedom in that.
Yeah.
I drove a 4-door sedan that was, you know, like something that anybody can feel safe in. I don't know, man. Like, that's what I think I would have focused on. Be yourself and make every opportunity to find a deal to own instead of trying to just find more clients. Honestly, if you want to, I feel like every situation we go into, we should go into that with an investor hat and a realtor hat. Is there an opportunity here
to be an investor,
to add to my portfolio and build my retirement? Because I don't want to be 10 years down the road still not having a retirement. I don't know about you. I don't have a matching 401k or a pension coming my way. And God knows if Social Security will be available.
Corey, how's a pension these days?
Yeah, you giving him a pension? You giving me a pension?
Hell no.
I was expecting screwball when I showed up. I'm not even getting screwball. I know I'm getting a pension.
Like and comment below if you get a pension. Boom.
Yeah, it's up to us to build that retirement.
Absolutely.
And don't wake up 10 years from now going, damn it, I should have bought at 2020 pricing, when 2030 pricing maybe it's double from what it is now. Look what's happening, man. We've got 12,500 homes in the market in a metropolis of 4.8 million people.
And it's growing. We're one of those states where everyone's moving here.
225 people are moving to Maricopa County per day.
Wow.
What is that, 80,000 people a year
Just nuts.
or so?
My math is not that good. No.
I might be way off. I'm shooting from the hip on that.
Corey, do we know how much that is?
It's a lot. It's a lot of people and not enough housing. So it's supply and demand. You know, you want to talk the market for a second. A lot of people who have been begging on the phone, stop the madness. I have so many leads who are like, we're going to wait till the prices go down. Okay, like in 2040, when the dollar collapses, then you'll have buying opportunities.
Yes.
But instead of buying at the 200,000, you'll be buying. You'll go from $1 million to 800,000. You'll feel like you got a deal. Like, the market's not going down anytime soon. It's just not going to happen. Simple supply and demand economics will not allow it. The only way the market's going to drop in Phoenix is if we run out of water or the dollar collapses on a United States scale, right? Like the entire economy.
It's just one of those
collapses.
states where everyone wants to be here.
But
There's
I've literally read that even if the U.S. economy collapsed, the housing market in Phoenix would probably still remain strong. You know, or if our nuclear reactors go off over there in whatever, like that's the only thing that's going to stop our that's the only thing that's going to stop our growth here. That's it. So, it's getting that message out to buyers right now. Like, quit. Like, I want to be kind of raw and be like, stop being an idiot. You know,
It's like, don't wait on the sidelines. Like, how many successful investors write books that say, you know, the biggest mistake I made was waiting on the sidelines. Like, you don't want to wait on the sidelines.
Hey,
like, put offers in.
that's my mistake.
Your offers are going to get rejected. I've put in like 12 offers in the past 2 weeks on different properties. Haven't had any responses, not even a counter offer. But that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, you got to just be willing to put in a lot.
Well, an agent's got to get out and start knocking doors right now to find inventory without any. My friend Leela, for example, she went out with her client, with her buyer. They couldn't find a house. She said, I want to be in this neighborhood. We can't find anything. So they literally together went and knocked doors in this neighborhood. And Leela ended up with 5 leads, 2 listings that didn't work for that buyer, but 5 leads of homes that could potentially work for that buyer.
Wow.
You know what I mean? We got to get creative. We got to work harder. We got to be
That's really
smarter
clever.
and think outside of the box right now to get deals, to get inventory. But waiting is not going to help anybody under any circumstance. You know
Yeah,
what
it's
I
just
mean?
going to get more expensive. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
just kind of better off.
I think I might make a video today and blast it out to those people waiting and be like, "Hey, man, you want to spend more and have less home? Wait, that's
Wait,
that's
and
your
give
plan.
me a call when you wait,
Yeah,
because
call
I'll
me
make a
up.
percentage of that larger number.
Call me in like a year. Yeah, that'd be funny, right? Call me in a year. I'll make a bigger commission. You'll have a smaller house. It works for nobody.
That,
You know what I'm saying?
that's where it's at.
Yeah. So,
Oh, man.
So that's my advice: is be authentic to yourself and find opportunities for yourself. Put yourself first. Your clients are a part of your business, but they are not your whole business. Your business is finding a retirement, finding assets.
And your clients want to work with the real you. They don't want to work with the mechanical person. I've noticed that the people I get along best with as my clients are the people that I have the most time to interact with at like a normal social level.
Yeah.
You know, like if I have a chance to, you know, go out to lunch with them or something, or hit a Starbucks, you know, and just take it down off that professional and just, you know, just hang out with these people. Those are your best clients that seem to always, you know, have referrals and more business and they want to sell or buy again.
We can go over a million examples of agents who are just being authentic and who are getting a lot of success. Hey, let's talk about Justin Mercer for a minute, that tattooed realtor. I'm sure you've seen what's going on with him. That dude has some great social media content. He posted the funniest thing earlier, but fact is, we need more guys like that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We need to shake this crusty old realtor image we have, because that's part of the reason I think that a lot of the people, like realtors, have a really bad reputation. You know, here's something to think about as a buyer.
Lenders have a really bad reputation.
I think your reputation is higher than ours, though. You're more respected than realtors.
I'm glad that you say that, though.
It's
Not
really
many
true.
people have that to say about us.
It's really true. But people look at realtors the same way they look at car salesmen. Like, let's say tomorrow you wake up and you go, I'm going to go buy that BMW. I don't know if you want a BMW. What's your dream car? What do you want to buy?
Well, I'd actually like a Benz.
Okay, so you want to buy you wake up tomorrow and you want that Benz. And you're like, I'm going to go buy me a damn Benz today. Do you think I need to go find a nice car salesman, or do you think I'm going to go find a Benz? Right?
Go find
So you're going to look online, you're going to look at different dealerships, you're going to look on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist and Auto Finder, and you're going to look for that Benz. You don't give it, like, you're going to avoid that salesman for as long as possible, right? Now, part of the reason that people avoid the salesman is because their focus is not on finding a salesman, but it's also because realtors have such a reputation for being scumbags or not being worth the money we make, things like that. We've earned that reputation. You know what I mean? But people being more authentic and being less, you know, the crossed arm pose and the trying to fit in the box.
Yep.
People are sick of that, man. They're sick and tired of that image. So guys and gals, I should say, who are being more authentic and being real, they're killing it on social media. They make their clients feel more comfortable. Their clients feel like they don't have to be all stuffy around these people.
Yep.
It's a better experience, but it makes us look like more real people and less realtors. You know what I mean? And so I like that kind of stuff. I'm a big fan of that. And I want to see more agents break out of their shells and stop feeling like they have to be anything that they're not. Right?
Absolutely.
So that's the advice I would give myself.
That's awesome. I don't know if I've had anyone give me that in-depth and that well of an answer to that question. I feel like if you're watching this and you're new to the industry, just take a listen. Just take a step down, take a breath. It's all going to be all right. Be you, and it's all going to work out. I mean, you got someone here with years and years of experience giving you some very specific but very basic advice here that will change your career in a big way for the better. Man, I really appreciate you being on the show.
Hope to provide some value, man. That's all. I'm just trying to be me, man. You know what I mean?
You're awesome, man. Thank you
Appreciate
for coming on. I can't wait to have you back, talk more about, you know, what you're doing with your company, how you're growing your team, and how you're killing it in real estate in 2020. So we look forward to having you back on soon.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Maybe we could do a class together or something like that one of these days.
Comment below. Maybe we'll figure something out. Let me know what you'd be interested in, what questions you have for Dustin. We're definitely going to be doing a follow-up soon to talk more about how he's growing and what he's doing with his parts of the industry. But thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't liked this video yet, make sure you like it. If you watched it all the way to the end, thank you so much. Make sure to share it with your friends. And the Mortgage Minute, we will sign off.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Take care. We good?